Now see, from the ancient times, the trade was going on between Europeans and Indians, right? Now suddenly something happened which changed the history, and the year was 1453, right? Now I'll show you a map. Okay. Now in this map, you can see this was the route in the Eastern Mediterranean for, to come to India. It is this route, land route, the people from Europe used to come to India, right? Now in 1453, the Ottoman Turks, that was a dynasty, right? These Ottoman Turks captured the area called Constantinople. সেই সময় ওই জায়গাটাকে বলা হতো কনস্টান্টিনোপল. Today that area is called Turkey, right? Now these Ottoman Turks, they said to the European people that we will not let you through. If you want to carry out your trade with India, you have to pay heavy taxes to us because you are going through us, through our land. And this incident took place in the year 1453. Please note down 1453. This year is very important, and it is this year which changed the history in such a way that our modern Indian history started. The background for modern Indian history started to be laid down in this year. Right. Now see, for the Europeans, carrying out trade with India was an imperative. They could not stop it. They could not stop it at any cost. They had to do business with India, either this way or that way. But they had to pay heavy taxes to the Ottoman Empire for their trade. So when you pay taxes to a middleman, heavy taxes to a middleman, what happens? The spices, which was less costly, becomes highly costly. When it reaches to the spices from India, reaches to Europe, it becomes very much costly. But spices was a daily requirement for all the common people of Europe. It was in very much high demand. So when you have to pay heavy taxes, it takes a toll on your economy. And it is from this thinking the Europeans started to find out or look for an alternative route. এবার ওরা ভাবতে শুরু করলো যে ল্যান্ড রুটের থ্রু দিয়ে আর আমরা ইন্ডিয়ার সঙ্গে বিজনেস করতে পারবো না। এবার আমাদের একটা অল্টারনেটিভ রুট চাই। ঠিক আছে? Now, after 1453, the Europeans started to look out for the alternative route to India. Land route তো possible নয়। So what is the alternative route? Sea route, right? I will tell you some of the incidents, but there had been many such courageous voyages. There was many voyagers, European voyagers, who took out their voyage to look out for India. They had died in their journey. Only some of them succeeded, and in history we read about only those who had succeeded, right? But thousands of such voyages started to take place. Now, who was the people who started to encourage these voyages? The royal families of Europe, because ultimately it was the king of European countries who was suffering, because they needed to supply the product for his people. They needed the Indian goods at low cost, and it is the royal families or the European kings who needed to find out an alternative route so that they don't have to pay taxes to the Ottoman Turk to carry out business with India. Right. In one such incident, the year was 1492. Right. The year was 1492. A Spanish voyager named Christopher Columbus. He was looking for India. We all know it, right? Christopher Columbus was looking for India. So Christopher Columbus ki bhablo? He was actually a Spanish. Spain, if you look at the location of Spain, Spain is at the western part of, extremely western part of Europe. And in the west of Spain, there is Atlantic Ocean. ঠিক আছে? তো ক্রিস্টোফার কলম্বাস ভাবলো পৃথিবী তো গোল, এখান থেকে একটা জাহাজ নিয়ে বেরোলে কখনো না কখনো তো ইন্ডিয়া পৌঁছেই যাব, because the map of entire world was not clearly known at that time. So he started his journey towards west from the western bank of Europe. He thought he will cross the Atlantic Ocean, then if there is something Pacific Ocean and everything, he will cross it, and then he will reach India. So he started his journey from the western bank of Spain, and after some time he reached a land, and he thought he has reached India, but he did not know that he has discovered a new land, that was America. He reached at the eastern bank of America, but he thought he has reached India because the land of America was not known to them. It was the first discovery. In fact, Christopher Columbus lived his entire life under this misconception that he has discovered India. And he called the native people of America the Red Indians. That is why they are called Red Indians, no? Because he thought they are Indians, and their skin color is reddish, brownish mainly. So they are called Red Indians, the native of America. This was one incident, and this was taking place because of that incident, the capture of Constantinople in 1453. In another incident, in 1488, 492 স্প্যানিশ ভয়েজার গেল ক্রিস্টোফার কলম্বাস, তার ঠিক 4 বছর আগে there was a Portuguese voyager. His name was Bartholomew Diaz. He was a Portuguese voyager. He thought, no, I will not go towards west, I will go towards south. I will cross Africa, and from Africa I will go to India. Right? I'll show you a map, this one. So from Portugal, he thought he will cross Africa and then go to India. Right? Now in the western bank of Africa, there was a region which was called the Cape of Storm. খুব ঝড় আঁধি তুফান আসতো সেখানে, এবং প্রচুর জাহাজ এরকম ওই কেপ অফ স্টর্ম ক্রস করতে গিয়ে ডুবে যায়। Bartholomew Diaz was the first person to cross the Cape of Storm successfully, and he reached at the southern tip of Africa. He named the southern tip of Africa Cape of Good Hope, যাকে আজকে আমরা বলি কেপ টাউন। In South Africa, there is a city, right? Cape Town. It was that city which was named by Bartholomew Diaz the Cape of Good Hope. Right? 10 বছর পর, এই ইনসিডেন্টটা হওয়ার 10 বছর পর, in 1498, another Portuguese voyager, Vasco da Gama, he started to follow the route discovered by Bartholomew Diaz. And he followed the route and he reached the Cape of Good Hope. এবার কেপ অফ গুড হোপে পৌঁছে ভাস্কো ডা গামা ভাবছে এবার কোন দিকে যাওয়া যায়। Suddenly he saw a Gujarati ship, because the trade between India and Africa was also very old. The trade route, the sea route, in fact, the sea route to Africa to India was already known to Indians. The Gujaratis were already carrying out business, but it was not known to the Europeans. So the trade route, the sea route was already there. Vasco da Gama just find it out only for the Europeans. He just followed a Gujarati ship, that's all. And he reached Calicut in the western bank of India. The year was 1498. This was the first discovery of sea route from Europe to India for the Europeans. Now, Vasco da Gama, he brought a ship, একটা জাহাজে করে কিছু মালপত্র এনেছিল। সেই মালপত্র ইন্ডিয়াতে, মালপত্র বলতে মেনলি বুলিয়ান আর কি, ইউরোপিয়ানরা তো ইন্ডিয়ানদের বুলিয়ান দিত। So he, in exchange of bullion, he bought many Indian products and loaded his ship, and he brought those products in European market. And in European market, he started to sell those Indian products at very high cost. After selling all these products were so much in demand that Vasco da Gama made 300 times profit than his entire cost of his entire voyage. That was the kind of profit the Europeans knew they could make with Indian trade. ওদের মেন পারপাসটা কি ছিল, ওদের ট্রেড ফরম্যাটটা কি ছিল? They used to bring bullion from Europe to India. In exchange of bullion, that is precious gold and metal, precious metal, gold and silver, in exchange of those bullions, they used to buy Indian products, that is spices, textile and all. They used to load those Indian products in their ship and carry the transport all these products to Europe. And in European market, those Indian products were so much in demand that they used to sell those Indian products at very high cost and earned huge profit. And the level of profit they made was very much, very much attractive for them. Now, after the Portuguese, when the Portuguese came to know about the Indian route and they started carrying out business with India, there was other European powers also, there was other European traders also. They felt we cannot have Indian, we cannot sell Indian products. How can these Portuguese people sell Indian products? So they also played something. They also came to know somehow. They also came to know about the route discovered by the Portuguese. So the second European trader, the second European power who came to India was the Dutch, the Netherlands, the people of Netherlands. They also started carrying out their business in India. After them came the British. British also started their business in the same manner, brought bullion from their own country, bought Indian product, load them in their ship, transport it to European market and sell it to the European market and earn huge profit. And after the British came the French. So these four European powers, they started to carry out their business in India simultaneously, altogether. And there was some clashes, some conflict between them also. Business এ থাকলে এটা হয়, when there is a competition, conflicts is inevitable. But they were not in power, they were just trading company at that time, so they could not wage that much of war, the kind of war a ruler wages. They used to fight locally, you know, locally. There was a very important fact that enabled the European powers to fight each other, was that despite they were a trading company, they were allowed to keep a small army. Now it is a very important fact, because you know why? Suppose today there is a company, trading company called Reliance or Tata. Will the government of India allow Reliance or Tata to keep their own personal army? Never. But at that time, the government of Britain or government of Portugal, the government of Spain, the government of Netherlands, they allowed these trading companies to keep a small army. Why? Because at that time, they used to carry out their voyages. Their maximum time was on the sea, and there was so many sea pirates. This route was filled with sea pirates. So whatever property they had gained, whatever they have earned, was vulnerable in the hand of the plunderers, the sea pirates. So to protect their property, they needed a small army. And because they had a small army and they could raise army, employ some people and raise their army, they got involved in some local fight in India between these European traders. But we cannot call them war, because they were not rulers at that time. The ruler of India at that time was the mighty Mughal ruler. Right? Till 1707, this mighty Mughal dynasty ruled India. But in 1707, the final blow came in the form of death of Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb was the last mightiest ruler of Mughal Empire. এবার আমি তোমাদেরকে বলে রাখি, WBCS এ কোয়েশ্চেন একটু ঘুরিয়ে আসে এবং স্টুডেন্টকে কনফিউজ করার জন্য কোয়েশ্চেন এরকম ভাবে আসতে পারে, who was the last Mughal ruler in India? Option is Aurangzeb, Bahadur Shah Zafar, Alamgir II. Always remember, Aurangzeb was the last mightiest ruler of Mughal dynasty, but he was not the last ruler of Mughal dynasty. The last ruler of Mughal dynasty was Bahadur Shah Zafar, that we will see later on. But he was the last mightiest. যদি কোয়েশ্চেন এরকম ভাবে আসে, who was the last mightiest ruler of Mughal dynasty, that will be Aurangzeb. So the death of Aurangzeb took place in 1707. Now when Aurangzeb died, the mighty Mughal ruler, which was a central force, central authority in almost entire India, that started to decline. So we will study a topic, we will see a topic, the decline of Mughal Empire. And we will see the decline of Mughal Empire started to take place after the death of Aurangzeb, after 1707. And when this decline started, the modern Indian history started, because of this decline, many small power in India started to raise their head. ফর এক্সাম্পল, যখন মুঘল উইক হতে শুরু করলো, তখন এই যে ছোট ছোট যে স্টেট গুলো ছিল, ছোট ছোট নেটিভ প্লেস গুলো ছিল, দে স্টার্টেড টু সে কি উই আর ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্ট অফ দ্য মুঘল এম্পায়ার, উই আর এন ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্ট স্টেট, লাইক বেঙ্গল. Murshid Quli Khan was the founder. He was the Nawab of Bengal. He came to Murshidabad and established the state of Bengal. Hyderabad. Asaf Jah, he took the title of Nizam. He came to Hyderabad and declared independence of Mughal. He said Hyderabad is an independent state. Sadat Khan, he went to Awadh and declared himself Sultan. See, every ruler took a different title. The ruler of Bengal took the title of Nawab. The ruler of Awadh took the title of Sultan. The ruler of Hyderabad took the title of Nizam. The ruler of Maratha took the title of Peshwa. The ruler of Sindh took the title of Amirs. Like this, right? Now, these small states, they started to raise their head when the decline of Mughal started to take place. And in this condition, these European powers started to think, we also have army. Why not we become the ruler? If they can fight with each other to become the ruler of India, to grab power in India, why can't we? Now there is no central authority, there is no mighty Mughal empire. Mughal dynasty is declining, Mughal dynasty is disintegrating. So now the British, the French, the Dutch, the Portuguese, they started to become stakeholders in grabbing power in India. First, these European powers started to fight with each other. The Portuguese and the Dutch were almost eliminated, except for few places like Goa, right? গোয়াতে পর্তুগিজ ছিল, ঠিক আছে? ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গলের এই চুচুড়াতে, সরি, হ্যাঁ, চুচুড়াতে ডাচ কলোনি ছিল। এরকম দু একটা জায়গা ছেড়ে the Portuguese and Dutch were almost eliminated from India. The only two most important superpower, sorry, not superpower, European power, great powers, which stayed in India was the British and the French. These two powers started to fight with each other. And in history, in modern Indian history, we will study about 3 Anglo-French war. The first Anglo-French war took place in 1746 to 48. The second Anglo-French war took place from 1749 to 54. And the third Anglo-French war took place from 1756 to 63. After this third Anglo-French war, the French were also defeated. And except for Pondicherry, the French was also eliminated from India. Now the only European power that was there in India was the British. And other than British, there was these native states, Bengal, Awadh, Mysore. The ruler of Mysore was Hyder Ali. Hyderabad, Maratha, Punjab, Sindh, like this. So these British, they started to fight with native states now. They started fight with, they fought against Bengal. We will study Anglo-Bengal war. They fought war with Maratha. We will study Anglo-Maratha war. They fought with the Mysore. We will study Anglo-Mysore war. They fought with Punjab, Sindh, Anglo-Punjab war and Anglo-Sindh war. One by one, not all at a once. One by one, they started to defeat and capture. And by the year 1849, they had captured power almost in entire India. Now, as their power started to grow. Their oppression, their exploitation of Indian people also started to grow. And we, under this oppression and frustration, the Indian people revolted against the British. And this revolt came to be known as the Revolt of 1857. And from 1857, in 1857, the revolt was crushed by the British. The revolt was crushed. British got the victory, but the British learned a lesson that they cannot rule the way they were ruling India. And Indians also learned a lesson that they cannot fight the British the way they had been fighting in revolt of 1857. So both the British and the Indian politician or Indian people brought changes in their characteristics, huge changes. And that is why after 1857, we see a completely new phase, which is called the Indian national movement. Right? So this was all for this demo class. If anyone has any doubt about whatever we have discussed, please tell me.
Sir,
Hmm.
how Indian national movement start? Please repeat.
How Indian national movement started? After the defeat of revolt of 1857, the Indian people realized that they have to bring some changes in their way of fighting against the British. They had been fighting in a particular way till 1857. But that process, that method proved to be a failure. Right? I'll give you an example. See, in 1857, আমরা 1850 রিভোল্ট অফ 1857 এর ব্যাপারে আরো ডিটেইলসে পুরো সেপারেট টপিক হিসেবে আমরা ডিসকাস করব। জাস্ট ফর এক্সাম্পল আমি তোমাকে বলছি, in 1857 there was some leaders like Jhansi Rani Lakshmibai, Nana Saheb, Tatia Tope, Kunwar Singh, Bahadur Shah Zafar, like this. Now these leaders who had been fighting the revolt of 1857, they were all monarchs or they were all kings. Right? Now this monarchy or the kingship, these were a very old politics. Till 1857 পর্যন্ত আমরা যে হিস্ট্রি পড়বো, সেই হিস্ট্রিতে আমরা কাদের নাম শুনি? আমরা পড়বো বেঙ্গলের নবাব সিরাজউদ্দৌলা, মীর কাসিম, সুলতান অফ আওয়াধ, সুজাউদ্দৌলা, পেশোয়া অফ মারাঠা, বাজিরাও, বালাজি বাজিরাও, মাধব রাও, নিজাম অফ হায়দ্রাবাদ, আসফ জাহ, Sultan of Mysore, Hyder Ali, Tipu Sultan. We will study about them. Right? They were all monarchs. They were all rulers, kings. They all came from royal family. Right? But once we cross 1857, 1857 এর পরে যে 1857 থেকে 1947 এর পর্যন্ত আমরা যে হিস্ট্রি পড়বো, তাতে আমরা কাদের নাম শুনতে পাই? মহাত্মা গান্ধী, জওহরলাল নেহরু, বল্লভ ভাই পটেল, গোপাল কৃষ্ণ গোখলে, নেতাজি সুভাষ চন্দ্র বোস, স্বামী বিবেকানন্দ, Firoz Shah Mehta, Annie Besant, right? This kind of leaders. Now tell me, which of these people that I had just named, which of these people had come from royal family? None, no one. So you can see that sudden shift in the Indian politics. Till 1857, traditional politics was going on in India, where the rulers, the monarchs, the kings used to decide everything. But after 1857, the common people started to decide things. You see, Lal Bal Pal, you must have heard about Lal Bal Pal. Who was Lal Bal Pal? Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Bipin Chandra Pal. You must have heard about Aurobindo Ghosh. You have heard about Subhash Chandra Bose. They all came from common families. None of them came from royal families. Now the traditional politics, the old politics that was there in India till 1857 does not matter. Now the politics is called people's politics or popular politics. This is the shift, and from this shift, the Indian national movement started. Now the people, এর আগে কি ছিল 1857 পর্যন্ত, that the ruler was demanding freedom from the British. Now the people of India is demanding freedom from the British. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand?
I can understand.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you.
Sir, yes, sir, I can understand.
Okay.
Okay.
Any more
Any more
doubt?
question?